All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, we have already seen Game 1 and Game 2 that's already been down on the road. And pretty much, it's been quite a long day, if I may say. And unfortunately, I'm no longer Kasaya, or rather, Kasaya is no longer sitting on this chair. So, my name is Abstract, in case you can't see below. My name is Abstract, and with me here is Riku, that has been casting with you for the past 2 games already.
Yes.
So, what do you think of the game so far? Catch me up.
Super exciting. I just want to say the previous game was just a battle of patience between the two teams. I believe it was EVO's Esports from Indonesia and TNN from Taiwan. Let's just say TNN space, all the towers were knocked down, and yet they survived 3 Dark Slayers. Dark Slayer sieges. That was insane. They have amazing wave clear, but at the end of the day, EVO's Esports, they actually managed to finish the game, but they had a hard time. So now we're going to see PBT, who played at the first match from Vietnam, and TNN, who just came from a very maybe stressful and very stressful match. So I feel like they've learned from that match, and they're going to bring it when they go up against PBT.
Right, so they definitely learned a little bit of a thing or two in the previous one, and hopefully they will be able to translate that over for this game, and hopefully, you know what, teach Pho Bo a lesson, perhaps, and give them, just give them whatever that they have, and just try to knock them out as much as possible. So in terms of points, how much has TNN already accumulated? Any idea?
There's 3. So they went up against EVO's Esports. So EVO's Esports has all 3 points.
Oh.
Because they won 2 of the games.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So that is pretty insane. So we will be probably expecting that EVOS is probably the most liked team to go up forward. And when it comes to, we can pretty much see right here. So EVOS has been doing really, really well. So we'll be expecting them to probably be in the upper brackets, but it's not finalized yet. We still have a lot of games to go. In fact, I believe that we have about 4 more games.
Yes, this is the 3rd one.
And with that all said and done, we'll most probably be looking at more intensive gameplay and all the games that you can see from this timetable. So Pho Bo versus TNN is the one that we're looking at right now. We are pretty much at the half mark already.
Yeah, half mark, because we have 6 matches in total. I think what I want to say about this whole matchup is that both of these teams have teachers in their rosters. Just
really?
a little bit tidbit.
As in the players are the teachers?
Players are teachers. So
oh,
one
wow.
is from PBT and 2 from TNN. Actually, the teachers from TNN, they use it. They use AoV as motivation for their students.
I see. Wow. Okay, that is interesting. I would like to have my teacher actually be playing AoV.
AoV too.
that would be great. Well, anyways, before we jump into the game, the draft and the picks, let's take a look at what we have for the videos between these 2 teams. There we go. There's our player profile for TNN and Pho Bo. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Pho Bo Team. I think so, yeah.
It's a food, right? Pho is a food for like a Vietnamese food, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's very familiar.
It's very familiar because it seems as though that I heard of this before, and I believe someone said pho. Someone called it pho, and and someone just decided it's called pho.
Yeah.
Pho.
I think I got corrected as well before by my dad.
It seems like a common mistake because understandably most people would just pronounce it as pho. So we now know that is pronounced as pho. So in case, I mean there's really nothing in case about that.
Yeah.
It's pho. It's Pho Bo. But the B is something that I'm not too sure if it's a bo or a b.
Pho Bo Team.
Pho Bo.
Yeah.
Pho Bo. Let's just put it down. Let's just put it down.
Yeah,
write it
like
down. Ingrained in our memories and know that it's actually Pho Bo.
Yes.
So for Team Pho Bo versus Team TNN, well, based on their track records, what do you think about them? How do you think that they're going to work towards this game?
Well, it's what's interesting between PBT, aside from the cute little teacher bit, is that the how long their rosters have been intact.
Right.
So PBT they've been playing together for 3 months. Meanwhile, I believe TNN, they've been together for 15.
Whoa.
So that long. And they've been playing since season 1. So I'm so excited to see them later on because I'm sure they want revenge. Like maybe not against EVOS Esports, but they definitely want to win this one, coming back from a 0-2 loss.
Yep, especially they want to claim a name for themselves after losing 2 points to them, unfortunately. But this is probably where it comes to be, really important for them. And getting that two more points for themselves is definitely going to be extremely important, something that they want to ingrain into the names as well. And do note that TNN, they are invited team.
Yes.
So they, if I'm not wrong, they didn't play any qualifiers.
Yes, that's
In the
correct.
in the meantime, most of these players, they did play the qualifiers. So in some fairness, we can say that the Indonesian, Thailand, and Vietnam teams, they are pretty well warmed up.
Yep, that's
We can
true.
pretty much say
That's
it that
true.
way.
I mean, we've already finished our game 1 and game number 2. So both of these squads have warmed up from earlier. And I think what's interesting is that since, Taiwan, TNN was directly invited. Meanwhile, Pho Bo Team had to go through the qualifiers. And take note, they didn't drop a single qualifier match ever. So the only taste of loss that they actually acquired was here today in the FSL round robins.
Right, so this is pretty much their first game. The previous one is their first game.
Yes.
So make this the second game for TNN. And now you can hear the music and see the screen and everything else, the drafting, and well, the banning picks are all going to go underway. Now, I want to remind everyone that we are looking at a global ban pick. So what it means is that any teams that have already picked up a hero, they cannot pick it up again for the rest of the series until they go to a next game. So for example, if you take a look on PBT side, so for PBT, let's say they pick up a Zip.
Yes.
For the next game, for the next series, they cannot pick up Zip again, but the opponent can pick up a Zip. So what is good is that they pick up the Zip first game, and the second game, they ban it. That is pretty much the normal thing that goes on. You will want to pick the heroes that you really want or is really good and deny it from your opponents.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility in this global drafting system. I feel like the flexibility will be felt during BO5s and BO7s, but BO2s I feel like not necessarily.
That's true.
Wow, normally red side would immediately ban Zip. It's like we're gonna see a Varus ban instead, Hayate. So if ever, the red side decides to leave that open, PBT can get that first pick on the Zip.
That is interesting so far. So we are coming in almost to the end of the first phase of bans. So there is quite a lot of heroes. Okay, so
Never mind.
Zip is goodbye now.
Yeah.
So Enzo is available on the board. Fennec as well. But in terms of marksman, in terms of anyone that can go to the Abyssal Dragon, I think, to be honest, in my opinion, one hero that works really well against Fennec is going to be Violet. That's to me. So they can actually think of getting Violet maybe later part of the game for the last pick whatsoever. But for the first few picks, they can take a look more into the roaming side and probably the mid lane. Darcy is still available.
That's true. Darcy is still available. Of course, I feel like Omen will not be a huge priority.
Nah.
Will be picked later on. But yeah, because of this global draft, there's a lot of heroes to choose from.
Right.
I believe Lindis and Baldum would be really, really good. Baldum is such a flexible hero. You can use it. You can use his Wild Prison either as a disengage tool or an engage tool
That's
to
right.
make a force a 4v5 or 3v5, depending on how much went inside the dome. But we'll see now. Lumber, one of my favorites back in Season 1 and Season 2. Although Alice, we'll see, it's just a hover. Natalia is one of my faves. Huge bursts. Like for me, kind of works like a Diao Chan. Like I would hide in a brush and I would just surprise people. So we'll see if they're gonna lock this in.
Yeah, Natalia is, well, one of the most annoying bursty mages that you can see out there. The damage from lethal rays is definitely not something that you'll want to take. You will want to absorb or be consumed by.
Yes.
But it does seem like they're hovering a little bit of Diao-chan, so we may be able to see a little bit of a climate change going on in the battlefield anytime soon. Right?
You're
So,
right.
so it does seem like it's going to be a Peina and Diao-chan pick coming in for Team PBT. As for Team TNN, they can still pick up a little bit more of burst-style heroes. For anyone that goes to the jungle, it does seem like perhaps Lindis will go to the jungle. I'm not too sure. What do you think?
It could go either way. There are a couple of teams that are fans of flex picks here and there just to not reveal. You're right, Lindis could be a side laner or placed in the jungle. We still don't know, but if they lock in this Crixie, it is definitely going to be the mid lane. They are intending to pick a mid laner here. Their mage, most importantly. Crixie, Tulin, Flash,
That is
Liliana. There's
yeah.
just so many choices
There
here.
is too many choices. You're pretty much spoiled for choices at this
Yeah.
moment of time. So you would want heroes that, you know, will be able to melt down the marksman. In this case, well, I may be biased, or I don't know, but in my case, I would actually go for the Flash. The Flash, initially, everyone knows that Flash is a really good counter against certain marksmen, right?
Yes.
So in this case, Fennec with the ability to just use Rolling Lightning is really slippery of a hero, right? So you can go in Rolling Lightning, do the damage, and then get out with Rolling Lightning as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's pretty much the Flash specialty. You go in right after the double Rolling Lightning and
then get out.
yeah.
That's
Exactly.
He's a Flash. And I feel like the reason why they were hovering on the Flash is because they wanted to see what could counter the Diao-Chan, especially, you know, she has been tweaked to include armor for her survivability when she does use her ultimate. But at this point, Crixie is pretty good. Amazing wave clear, good knock-up, and as well as maybe you can't choose the targets for her ult, but it deals a huge amount of damage while still retaining your mobility.
Exactly. So Crixie, in some sense, is kind of like a Vera if you think about it. So instead, like Vera is a stun. In the meantime, Crixie's Nature's Wrath is a knockup. So and also it's an AOE ability. So a little bit more crowd control as compared to Vera. So it's kind of like a Crixie here, Vera here. Obviously, Crixie is up, Vera is down. So goodbye, Vera. Unfortunately, you are F tier.
cry, because she's my favorite hero. But I really like the bans for Elsu. I feel like that's one of most likely the counters that they are expecting for this Diao-Chan to be effective. Fennec, he has a lot of zoning tools. Pena is really good, can provide the sustain needed, and Tel'Ana's all of the long-range marksmen being taken out of the table.
Yeah, but it does seem like they're just putting down the marksman as much as possible. So let's take a look at you know, what we have for Team TNN. So Lindis, Beldam, and Crixie. So it's fair to say that Crixie fulfills a role in the mid lane.
Yes.
Beldam pretty much as the roaming one. Lindis still flexible. We can still see her in Abyssal Dragon or jungle. So we may still see an assassin coming in. We could still see Quillen.
Quillen is open, Richter
Quillen
is open,
yes.
if they want to. Florentine is actually open, which was previously or constantly banned in the other matches that we had today. So a lot of things are open. It just really will depend what kind of comp that they want to go for. I mean, TNN was Violet.
That's the one.
Marksman.
That's the one. That's the one I'm talking about. So if Violet and Lindis is gonna be picked up here, which one will be the one that goes to the jungle? Because last time Violet is still pretty okay when it comes to the jungling, but
they're gonna pick a jungle. They're hovering over jungle picks right now for
yeah,
PvP.
they are literally spoiled for choices.
Yeah.
And so Quillen, okay wait, Nacroft is out. Zephys still?
Murad is open. If
Oh
they
yeah,
want to pick
Murad.
that up. I mean, I think it's pretty good against Violet and Crixie.
Yeah, I mean,
There you go.
Murad with the Temporal Turbulence against Lindis and Violet? Sign me up anytime. Anytime. But it does seem like they're just going to hover around onto Zephys and Kilgroth. Now, this shadow pick here, what do you think? Let's just imagine.
Okay.
If
it's a
all
Kilgroth.
5 of them like that. Okay, it does seem like Kilgroth is
imagine.
going to be locked down. Zephys though. We have 5 seconds left. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna work with Zephys now.
Yeah,
So what do you think about this?
Okay, for me, it's just really full-on damage with a balance of magic and then 3 really high damage physical sources. But for me, Kilgroth has always been the type of I'll farm first and I'll join you guys later for the fight.
Right.
At the start of the game, he's probably not the best.
Yeah.
But when it's the team fight phase or maybe the 4-1 phase, he's just really insane for damage. And if you supply that with the correct amount of CC, which Diao-Chan will provide, and as well as maybe Fennec on his ult and Pena as well, Kilgroth can just cleave through everyone in the whole AoV. So that is probably the story for PBT if they do manage to reach their spikes. How about you? What do you think about TNN though?
Well, for TNN right now, well, Lindis, Beldam, Crixie, Violet, and they're looking at the last one. It does seem it's gonna be Omar. At this moment of time, it does seem like they are somewhat going for a little bit more of a late game composition as well with Violet and Lindis. Annette is going to fulfill in the roam.
Interesting. So Baldo side lane, and then Annette roam, Lindis jungle, Crixie mid, and then side lane Violet. So
what if it's something completely different?
most likely they're playing around the Violet and the Lindis so that they have a lot of protection for their carry marks.
That is right. That is
they're
right.
banking on them.
Right. So Annette definitely will be able to provide some cover for their marksman. In this case, it's going to be Lindis or Violet with the Hurricane Wall, just to pretty much save Killgraph away. Alright, so now we're just going to take a look at the video between PBT versus TNN. Alright, I gotta say, the timing of the video alongside with the loading is pretty darn sweet. The segue, let me just say it that way, the segue between the video to the game is just spot on, like you said.
Buttery smooth, buttery smooth.
My oh my. Alright, so let's just take a look a little bit more onto the laning phase and perhaps the players as well, because, well, the early game, we're not really gonna expect much, right? So let's just take a look a little bit more on the heroes and who's gonna be playing whom.
Yeah.
For PBT side, we do have Saya that's going to be playing on the Diaochan, Ponyo onto the Fennec, Andrew onto the Zephys, Sunny on Pena, and Saber that will be playing on Killgraph.
Yes, for TNN, I'll be here for the Baldum, Nana on the Violet, Ding for the Crixie, Mia for Annette, and Rain playing on the jungle for Lindis.
Alright, so it was pretty early in the game. We've got a couple of things going on in the middle lane, and it does seem like it is pretty hectic, if you ask me. Top lane is going to be a Baldum versus a Killgraph. Now, that is rather interesting. So I'm pretty sure that a Baldum definitely would not want to give Killgraph as much farm as possible. So I'm not too sure. Wild Charge and the Wild Stomp, what exactly can you do against the Killgraph in the early game?
I mean, with the way that they drafted, I'm pretty sure
they have a plan in mind.
They have a plan, and that plan is to wait for the laning phase to be over, group Act 5, and bank on the team fight. I think that is where their effectiveness will rise, because in terms of dual potential, of course, Baldum will not provide that.
Yep.
Killgraph will, though, and as well as, what do you call this, the carry potential, I feel like Baldum, if you look at it, he works like a Sentinel at the top. Whoa, nice knockback.
Oh, the wind comes coming in from a net is just absolutely menacing. Managing to just lock down two enemies right in a row. The second one comes in from the wind cuff from a net, but it does seem like the Diamond Dust definitely did manage to land his job right onto the net, and both sides will now comes to a truce as the bottom lane, both sides, they will just come to a halt.
And that was understandable. Level 4 already for both junglers for PBT, and as well as TNN. Sentinels for the side of PBT, and meanwhile we can see that TNN is converging already near the riverside at the Dragon, but looks like they decide not to and converge in the mid as well. Ponyo quite low though.
We've got quite a party going on here in middle lane. We do have Diaochan. Mana is running down extremely low. I'm not too sure whether she's just going to stay around in the area or not. Pena is just going to relocate herself to somewhere a little bit more special and just resetting the Abyssal Dragon more and more.
Angered the Abyssal Dragon. But I think Diaochan cannot afford to go back because might miss a couple of wave. As Crixie is, in terms of wave management, she deals a lot of damage, and you don't want to have a chunk of damage on your towers in the first minute of the game.
That is right. So just try your best to clear the waves as much as possible. Good thing coming in from the Mischief, but it does seem like, is that a Moonfall? That is a Moonfall right on the Saya, but the damage is not too much. So both sides are just going to fall back once again. Both sides are playing really cautiously. I was expecting them to, throw caution into the wind once they reach level 4. Because, if you're gonna kill me, I'm gonna kill you. Kind of a trade-off, good thing going on. But it doesn't seem to be that way.
Yeah, they're playing very safe. Probably trying to tone down from the experience that they had earlier. Nicely done by Mia here. But at this point, they're starting the Dragon already. And Sunny, though, very low. Might be a little bit tricky. Might die from a combo from the Crixie if not too careful. Yeah,
we gotta have to watch out for the Moonfall. I believe that Moonfall was used, so... Oh, actually, Moonfall is back up on cooldown, so it's fine right now. So waiting for the Nature's Wrath followed by the Mischief. We're just waiting for that part. But the main thing is to make sure that Mia does have the Hurricane Shield. I'm not too sure about that, but the Nature's Wrap did manage to hit on the Andrew in the moment of time. The Moonfall coming, the damage right onto the Sami, but Sunny did manage to get away with just a sliver of health, just like that. And it does seem like the map control coming in for TNN definitely worked out well, and they will be able to successfully bring down Kratos.
TNN did an amazing job there. They came from different sides, they had the pincer attack, and I'm pretty sure PBT was not ready for that. Saya is actually lurking around. Did they steal it? Looks like that's a no.
That's a no. Unfortunately, I was really hoping that the Chilling Frost coming in from Saya could actually get a kill, and it confused me for a little while. Was that a... Whoa. Well,
bye-bye.
Goodbye. Was that a Diamond Dust?
Yes, it was.
My oh my. A sniped out. A snipe coming in. Right onto Annette. There is nothing that Annette could do. But, well, it is a 1 for none, in which case it's kind of 1 for Kratos.
Yep, 3. Now that I look at it, the 2-man mid and roam combo seems to be similar. They're quite mirroring each other.
Yeah, they're pretty much doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that, you know, they don't have a, you know...
wait, they do. They both...
They do have the
Yeah,
sustainability, but the main thing is they don't exactly have a hero to fight against Killgraph at the top lane.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So yeah, we pretty much got Gorlord, Sea Spear, and the entire spear going on from Saber onto our Beldam. But you know what? Beldam don't even care about it. Everything is just prickling. It's just pulling hairs out of that little body of Beldam. You know, it doesn't really care.
I don't think his body is little.
I don't... Yeah.
He's a huge person or force. Man, I don't know.
A weird man, we just put it that way. A weird man with a huge little totem looking thing.
Why do you really like the word little?
Little is always the word I come into, because you know you gotta work with what you have. You know, I'm little, so everything is little to me. Bring everyone down with you, and right as we're saying that, bring down the hill coming in from Saya with the Blizzard, but it did absolutely nothing, as both PBT as well as TNN falls back from this moment of time as they were just preparing to defend themselves here in the middle lane. Gorlord activated once again the prison. Of course, the Wild Prison definitely will be the disengaging tool coming in from LB, making sure that he don't go down to Killgroth, because the main thing is hold Killgroth in the lane and do not feed any kills.
Yes, that is definitely his job, or her job there. Hold the fort, but I don't think it's going to last as long as they needed it to be, because right now Killgroth, you cannot duo with Killgroth with a Beldam here. So that means Sentinel, and later Sentinel is under their control. That top side, that Darkslayer side, is going to be tricky. Meanwhile, TNN though is going to chunk a lot on Ponyo's HP, which really opens up a lot of possibilities for the taking of this Abyssal Dragon.
It does seem like the map control is divided directly into half. Both sides pretty much have the control here in the river. As you can see, PBT, they're just pushing themselves up ahead right in the faces of TNN. And just like that, Ponyo manages to get Kratos, and they have got more gold lead onto themselves with a total of 20,000 gold right now versus 16.5 thousand gold. The Diamond Dust lands on Mia, but the Blizzard did not continue on, as Mia did manage to get himself away, and of course she was just right at the edge of the Blizzard.
Almost. Mia managed to walk away from that potential death from Saya. But anyway, I think Sunny had to go back, and Fennec as well. Both were low on resources, either mana or HP. But Saya doing a good job with this poke, scaring away Annette as well, and removing the potential safety. And meanwhile, Saber diving in.
Not gonna care. He's not gonna care. Once again. It's really tickling him. It's just really tickling him. There's no damage output coming in from Saber onto Beldam at this moment of time, but the entire situation changes.
Oh, nice.
The wind comes. Whoa, mischief! And here comes everything else. Saber tries to go straight into the action, but was immediately pushed right back. The Wild Prison coming in will be able to get himself a little bit of an engagement right on Sadi. And here comes the Chain Hammer Cyclone right in the center. But Saber, he's just going to put himself right in the heart of the enemies. And here comes going to be the Death Flurry coming straight in from Andrew into the rest of the team. And Saber is still surviving with the mouse sustainability here in the second tier tower. They're not even going to care over the first tier tower, but here we have The turret is gonna go down with a total of 5-1. And I believe that was a 4-for-1 trade-off.
That is exactly what I was talking about. Everyone was pretty much slow from Saya, and then here comes the Kilgroth. Saber just going in, just crazy. That was insane. No fear at all. She went past one tower, and I think it's pretty worth because they had so much control now compared to the previous minutes that transpired.
Exactly. Like I said, Kilgroth does nothing to Powder. But the situation is changed when, you know, Kilgroth targets someone else. As you can see, when he's right in front of literally everyone and there's enough CCs, Kilgroth just begins to melt everyone, everything, and there's just nothing that can stop Kilgroth.
That's absolutely true. I felt like TNN could have done something there. They only managed to get the Wild Dome on one person, and I'm not sure if they had... I feel like they've already expended their resources, their ults, to make that Wild Dome, Wild Prison
It works.
But I guess it works. I mean, it's shaped like a dome.
It is a dome.
Dark Slayer, though, has been taken by PBT, so more control on the map.
In the meantime, it does seem like Andrew did manage to pick himself up with an Omni Arms, and I believe that the item pickups coming in from PBT is coming in to be really, really strong. And let's just put it this way. PBT is most probably going to snowball from this point on because it does seem like Lindis and Violet, they don't exactly have that damage output that we would like to see at this moment of time.
That's true. If we look at the levels, Andrew is already level 14. The highest level person in TNN is just level 12. So in terms of scaling for their stats and as well as their skills, they haven't really reached that point yet. And now that's the reason why they're having a hard time. They do have a good amount of wave clear in the form of Percy, but I think it's not enough if multiple lanes are threatened.
Just slowly losing control of the enemies, unfortunately, losing control of everything, and now the map control is now credited to PBT. As the second tier turret is gonna go down here in the bottom lane with the Drake summoned, fighting for them and fighting for their cause. Here in the middle lane though, the second tier turret is currently somewhere around about half HP. It does seem like Kilgroth does want to make a push at the top lane and potentially trying to go for a trifecta push.
Oh, will this be a dive though? Oh no, no dive.
No, the turret went down. The Blizzard's just going to be activated coming in from Saya. And Andrew with Death Flurry followed by the Death from the above. Finishes off the Lindis. And just like that, 2 men down with no casualties coming from PBT at all. They managed to score down the time that they really needed. Although the wind cuffs coming in from Annette was on point, but the turret went down and it didn't do anything at all.
Super crazy. Look at Saber. Doesn't have a care in the world, but decides to care a little bit and retreat. And retreat. 38 seconds on the clock for the Dragon to spawn once again. But it's going to be the defense game for TNN. This is such a familiar situation for them, and I'm not sure if they're going to be prepared for it. It's not like they have a Preda to have a really nice siege and wave clear and deal explosive damage, but TNN, I feel like they could still translate the absolute defense tactics that they did in the previous game.
Well, recently I just saw that Beldam did pick up a medallion of Troy. Honestly, I don't think that's going to help a lot. You know, the main damage comes kind of from Zephyrus as well as Kilgroth. But if, you know, Dao Chan is the one that's pretty much been snowballing, then sure, medallion of Troy. Go ahead for it.
I think it's most likely not getting bursted down by the magic instead.
That is one thing.
Kilgroth is just consistent damage. Will strike you down, but it's a pretty slow death if you ask me. But in comparison to probably the magic users, which is pretty much banking on the burst, so most likely avoiding that kind of insta-death.
And speaking of that, it does seem like the middle lane third tier, or rather the middle lane last tier turret is now down. They're looking forward to get a push down in the top or bottom perhaps. I'm not too sure exactly what is the game plan, but push up the lanes as much as possible, and you know, maybe they can go for some other objectives.
Yeah, maybe exchange the Dark Slayer take because everyone else is pretty much on top. Except Kilgroth. Punish this! Very aggressive play, but Saber will get to live another day.
Not punished at all. It does seem like the Nature's Wrath did manage to land on Kilgroth, but the CCs was not enough on the Kilgroth, and of course, he managed to get himself away from all of that danger. Despite the bold play, he was not punished there. So, we're pretty much approaching the close to the end of the game. We've got all 5 players coming from TNN congregating together here at the top lane, preparing to defend themselves from this push. But what didn't they probably not expect is that Kilgroth is going to come down from the bottom lane. The Moonfall is going to be activated coming in from the Quixie, and bottom top lane is just going to have the Drake knocking down on the last tier turret here at the top lane. But the Drake is just going straight down. Immediately going down. Diamond did manage to land on one enemy, but none has went down just yet.
That's super intense. Again, TNN is great on their defense plays, and I feel like PBT will get a taste of that, the same as what happened with EVOS in the game earlier. But now, one more hit, that will be enough to send the tower down. Alpi is in trouble here. Yeah,
they don't care about Beldam at this moment of time. It does seem like the Fennec did manage to activate the Chain Hammer Cyclone to just focus away or trying to zone the opponents out. But of course, the duration of the Chain Cyclone is not long enough. It went down, but it's okay. The top lane, the turret is now down. The bottom lane is almost down now. 5 versus 5.
This is so difficult for TNN. Now this is just the great defense play that they have to do to keep the game alive. But it's so hard with PBT's immense amount of damage. It's going to be another fight.
This is going to be absolutely insane. It does seem like Andrew just going to go straight in with the death flurry, the damage coming in. And everyone, they have to get themselves back into the base. All of them is less than half HP. But here comes the Diamond Dust, followed by another Chilling Frost coming in, all from Diao-chan. And of course, we do have Andrew finishing off one after another. Blizzard coming down for Diao-chan. The Wild Prison will be able to catch up just one Fennec. But the core still goes down as the rest of the team did focus fire right here in the hearts of the enemies.
Congratulations for PBT winning that first match against TNN. What a finish. What a dominant game for them.
It does seem like the snowball effect coming in for PBT is a little bit too strong coming from TNN. And I'm not too sure whether this is a case of outdrafted. I just feel that, you know, okay, perhaps a little bit because, you know, Kilgroth is literally left alone at the top lane almost the entire time.
Yes.
And Beldam is the only one that is contesting against Kilgroth, and no one is really, you know, doing anything offensive against Kilgroth.
Yeah, I mean, TNN had a good idea to bank on Lindis and as well as Violet, but you will most likely run out of time. Like Kilgroth, when he comes online, most likely Violet and Lindis will not be able to match the damage when they all come together.
Right, so we did manage to see a little bit of the chart, and it does seem like Diao-chan is the one that dealt the most hero damage. And we cannot deny that. I mean, the damage coming in from Chain Frost, from literally every skill kit, and most importantly, Blizzard as well.
Yes.
The amount of crowd control, the amount of damage, the zoning tool that, you know, Diao-chan is able to give for her team is just way too much and incomprehensible. That's why she's one of the top tier pick for the mid lane.
It's actually funny what would have happened if they did lock in the Natalia. I was looking forward to it because my second favorite hero was Natalia, but they do work in the sense where they deal a huge amount of damage. They deal a ton of burst damage, but the AoE is so much bigger for Diao-chan.
Exactly. So, well, with that all said and done, game 3. Round 1 is now over, and we'll be looking at Game 3, Round 2 in a short while. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break. See you in a while. Alright, welcome back to each and every one of you. My name is Abstract. With me here is...
Riku!
That's the way, that's the way.
Yeah.
So alright, so we have finally concluded the first round of game number 3. I always have that issue. But yeah, the first round of game 3. So what we have here is a round robin match between 4 teams. So we'll be seeing most of basically every single team will fight against every single team.
Yes.
So that is pretty much what round robin is. We're playing a game of 2 for every single round so that they can have, you know, they can rack up points as much as possible.
Yeah, and for the viewers out there, don't worry, no one's going to get eliminated today. The whole playoffs is going to be tomorrow when we have finally seeded everyone after today.
That's right. So pretty much for the round robin, for today we're just deciding for tomorrow who's going to be in the upper bracket and who's going to be at the lower brackets. So the sad thing is for the lower brackets, it is after all a best of 1.
Yes.
So if you screw it up, then
no chance anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, which is going to be so tough. That's why a lot of the teams are working hard to stay at the upper bracket. And so far, so good for EVOS Esports and PBT on the way to racking up more points if they land another win on the second game. Because 2 wins equals to 3 points.
That is right. Now, before we jump into the game, a quick segue into the team introductions. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the next game. And of course, game number 3, round number 2 between PBT versus TNN. TNN is going to be on the left side and PBT is going to be on the right side. And we have got the drafting going on already. And so far, the bans is nothing unusual once again.
Yeah, I don't. As I said earlier, I don't think we're gonna see a zip in this tournament. I may be jinxing it, but every single time red side will want to ban that first. There's Hayate being taken out. I'm not sure, but I think Hayate hasn't been performing well as a hero. And he did receive a couple of nerfs. He still has his kit, but I don't think it's still working out for this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, so far, I've casted many other tournaments before, or rather, the previous FSL as well. So I believe that it was like the Indonesian games. I can't remember. We've got people actually picking up Hayate as well.
Yes.
They've been constantly banned, and then suddenly, boop, Hayate pops up. And for that game and the subsequent games, Hayate didn't perform.
Interesting.
So in the meta snapshot, Hayate is always like the best hero, the best marksman next to Caphany.
Yes.
People love Hayate, but when he's being
Kaisaya
played,
loves Hayate.
yeah, she does. And when it comes to playing the actual game with Hayate, it just doesn't seem to work.
Wait, they're laughing.
I don't
TNN
know.
is laughing. I'm not sure if it's because Fennec was banned, even though it won at the previous match. So normally TNN cannot use Fennec anymore. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Lindis, let's give this another shot.
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, Lindis is going to be played. So is Yibaneth. Understandably, Yibaneth. So we don't really have to say too much about Yibaneth as we
Maybe
do have Alice as well. Well, I'm not a big fan of Alice per se.
What?
Not a big fan.
Why not? She's cute as a character, and her kit is amazing.
And she's little.
What? So you hate?
No, I'm little myself.
Yeah, you
no,
hate
the only
yourself?
thing I actually do. But okay, enough with the slapstick.
Okay.
The only reason why I'm not really a huge fan of Alice is because, well, there is so many other better heroes out there. Personally, my favorite hero, I gotta give it to Teamy. I gotta have to give it to Teamy.
A lot of the teams hesitate on picking Teamy there. We've seen a couple of hovers here and there, but not exactly confirmed. I do like Alice. Reliable shields, good silence, good AoE, and reliable stun as well. It's kind of like how a Crixie works. Maybe they want to combo it with someone later into the draft. Darcy Tilanis though, I am liking TNN's draft. Very strong magic picks and as well as huge range for Tilanis. So we'll see how PBT adjusts to this.
Right. So Alysta understandably will be in the middle lane and Darcy may be in the jungle lane. Or rather jungle, not jungle lane, but jungle for Darcy, right?
Yeah.
I don't see any other thing that they can do. Telana is going to relegate herself to the Abyssal Dragon lane. So what can we expect is a roaming hero, as well as anyone to go to the Dark Slayer lane. And Varus is out, unfortunately. We still have Richter. Okay, right as I talk about Richter.
Yeah, already locked in. I just remember there's a lot of jungle picks open for, we'll see. I mean, Richter could be used in the jungle, could be used as a side laner. But I remember whenever you have all of these squishy targets, you would want to have a heavy dive pick. Murad is open. Cricknap is open.
Cricknack is open for now.
For now, yeah.
Nakroth is out as well. In which case, both teams has yet to pick both Murad and Nakroth.
That's absolutely true. Taking away Omen, which is super understandable, a scary duelist, a good split pusher, a good answer to most of side laners as well. But Liliana might be the next one to be banned. I suppose it is understandable. They are lacking their mid laner at the moment.
That's right. So let's say that it's just gonna ban out onto Liliana and Preda. What are the mid lane heroes that PBT can go for?
I'm not sure if they do want to go back to the Crixie at the moment.
Okay, so PBT,
Flash.
PBT, they picked up a Diao in the previous game,
Yes.
so that's no more for Diao. We can still see perhaps Raz?
Raz. That's true.
I don't see the need for the Flash in this case because it's just Taranas. There's quite. I mean, Richter can pretty much do the job with Jungle Strike onto Taranas and follow it up with Mark of the Hunter. The slippery as Richter, I'm pretty sure that he will be able to do his job when it comes to dueling out against Taranas, hopefully.
Yeah,
but the range is an issue.
The range is an issue. You just have to most likely play around the first skill of Taranas and then probably go in. So she doesn't have much room to work with. Even and Ormar, a lot of utility and damage at the same time if they do manage to lock this in. I would rather have an Auron pick if I were to say, give a suggestion. Maybe because it's, well, you flicker in, you get the Valheim, kind of like how, similar to how Roxy would want to play out.
Pretty much, yes.
But looks like we're going to see Yubaneth and Ormar.
It does seem like we're gonna have a shadow pick coming in onto Ignis, but I would like to put a little bit more attention onto Valheim. In my opinion, Valheim is a great kiting marksman, right? So he excels when he's fighting against a team of like let's say more than 2 melee characters. But right here, the only melee that the 2 melee characters that you're looking at is Omar and Yibaneth, in which case shouldn't be a big priority to Valheim, right?
That's true. You do want to take out Alanas, Alistair, Darcy, as they are the primary damage dealers of the squad. Makes me wonder what kind of strategy they're going to do.
Exactly. And now, before we get into the game, ladies and gentlemen, we are just going to go straight in and introduce the players.
Arena of Valor.
Once again, the segue. Oh my god.
Minions will be deployed in 5 seconds.
I just can't say anything about that segue. But okay, anyway, so now we've got the players lined up and ready to rock and roll. Let's take a look at the players and who are they playing. For the TNN side, we do have Rain gonna be playing onto Darcy, Ding onto Alistair, Mia that's gonna be playing onto the Omar, LB onto Yibaneth, and Nana that will be playing onto the Taranas.
Meanwhile, PBT has Saber on the Richter, Sunny on the Alice, Andrew for our Lindis, Ponyon, Valheim, and Saya on the Old Wizard.
Well, the Fire Wizard, am I right? So they had an Ice Wizard in the previous one, calling in hails, changing the climate, and here we have Ignis bringing in Drought.
Yep, Suri. I just want to point out something. Whoa! They almost collided there, but
smooth moves.
Very smooth, very smooth. I just want to point out the combo from TNN. We've seen this before from EVOS, I believe. Oh no, it is still TNN that drafted this one.
Right.
It was the Alistair and Darcy. So what they do is they lay on the AoV from the Alistair, and then once they get a catch on someone with the dimensional teleport skill, they come back to that AoE, and then you stun them, and you deal so much damage.
So from my understanding, it is a combo that will be making full use of Matrix of Woe, going in for a Magic Prison, I believe so. Yes. But that will be only after the Dimensional Portal coming in from Darcy and a double Dimensional Cube. That is what I'm expecting, kind of. There we go, Dimensional Portal coming in! And the Matrix of Woe. Wait, did we see the Matrix of Woe? Now we see the Matrix of Woe, but I'm not too sure whether the combo did manage to break out, but that does look extremely menacing in terms of magical damage.
Deals humongous damage. I think that's the reason why they locked in the Alice. They needed extra shields, AoE shields, to try to counter the AoE damage. Meanwhile, Ponyo is already starting the Abyssal Dragon. Meanwhile, the rest of PBT joining as well. Rain will spot them out.
He's gonna get his double soon, but it doesn't seem like our Darcy is able to do that. We do have Dimensional Portal, running 2-person right into the rift. And just like that, with Omar taking the lead, they will be able to successfully bring 2 men down, and that's gonna be Sunny and Andrew. Well played coming from TNN. They broke out the early game in good light.
What a combo. That is what I'm looking forward to, and I'm so excited about that. But meanwhile, while TNN was interrupting the Abyssal Dragon take, which sadly failed because PBT managed to secure that, Saber was proxy farming because he is confident enough that the rest of the members are down anyways, are busy, so he can actually stall the wave while Ibanez was waiting at the Dark Slayer lane.
And my oh my, what can I say? The damage coming in from both sides is going to be pretty scary. The swagger from Mia is just making things a little bit more difficult for Ignis to run away. But of course, the damage coming in from Swagger doesn't really mean that much. The only damage coming in from Mia will only be when he's level 4, and of course will be repelling all kinds of damage, or rather, will be putting up all the damage with Walking Tall.
Exactamundo, amigo. And PBT gonna try to find an opportunity somewhere here at the Dark Slayer lane. Sunny will land a good stun to cancel out everything. There's some friendship. Friendship!
I'm surprised I can go that high, to be honest. And here we have, right when we're talking about Walking Tall, we do have Mia trying to go straight in with Walking Tall, spinning the heck out of him like he's being stuck in a washing machine. And with that all said and done, they're just going to relegate themselves here in the middle lane with Sunny, Saya, as well as Ponyo to defend for themselves.
And meanwhile though, wait, Sunny?
Eagle Eye, penetrating shot, trying to deal a little bit more of, damage in drips and drabs.
Yeah,
but not gonna do much.
Yeah, Sunny's gonna be okay. Still very risky to go deep into enemy's territory. So they're satisfied with just forcing Sunny to go back to base. But just in time though, Abyssal Dragon is already there. So I think timing is still correct. Ibanez though might have a hard time against this Richter at the top side of the map. But I think it's still a better matchup than Baldum and then Kilgrath.
And here we have I believe that was a double dimensional cube, and they will be able to space things out, or rather zone the opponents out of Kratos. But it is going to be a 3v4, of course, with Mia right in front of the enemy team, Walking Tall, dealing so much damage and healing so much in the meantime. The Magic Prison coming in from Ding definitely did manage to do some work against the opponent's side as well. In the meantime, it does seem like Richter did manage to get one kill, a single kill onto Ibanez there up on the top lane, so it is going to be a double push for both sides.
Yep, and they have to be careful because, again, they still have mana. TNN still has mana, and they can actually fight back. Saya, in the meantime, probably has two to three skills worth of a combo, but look at that. Looks like at the top side of the map, Mia tried to defend, but it's not going to be enough.
Definitely not enough. With the first tier turrets finally down here in the top lane in favor for PBT. We're looking at a not that significant goal lead in terms of, gold. So it is a total of 500 gold lead only, despite the fact that they have one Abyssal Dragon, they have one turret as well, and they just pretty much lose 2 kills, so it kind of tallies out a little bit.
Wait, in the mid lane.
Oh, the Magic Prison coming in from Ding right on the Saber, but Saber just going to change things away for a little bit while the Mark of Hunter is going to be activated coming from Saber. Will be able to get himself to get away from that moment of time. So no deaths at this moment of time. And in the meantime, bottom lane, Nana versus Valheim. I don't think that that's going to mean anything.
Yeah, I bet Albi is just itching to join everyone. I mean, right now, the laning phase is over because of now towers are slowly going down, especially at Dark Slayer and then the mid lane. But at this point, which means because of this tower advantage of PBT, they have once again have map control. What they are after is all of these objectives. Meanwhile, TNN gonna try to pick up the pieces. What's left? What kind of resources are left? They're gonna dive in.
Oh, penetrating shot. The Eagle Eye going to be activated here. Comes to the Walking Tall coming from Mia once again. Helicopter running through to PBT with the dimensional portal porting Sunny right back into the rift, into the heart of the enemies, unfortunately. So down goes Alice. Not able to friendship your friends anymore, can you? In the meantime, it does seem like Andrew is just going to join into the fray and join his friends to try to get a kill onto Ding. And Ding goes down. Wasted that flicker. And it does seem like we do have Andrew. The presence of Andrew definitely made a mark on that team fight.
Oh my, it's not over.
Luna champion coming in from Andrew, one after another, damaging drips and drabs. But Darcy, I believe the Dimensional Walk did manage to get himself away from all of that. And of course, we'll live to see another day.
They're so aggressive. The first tier tower below the Abyssal Dragon lane is not even taken down yet. That's how aggressive and confident PBT is. They're just amazing to watch. Meanwhile, Saber.
Marco the Hunter coming in from Saber will be able to go for 1v2. The Nature's Realm going to be activated by LB to force and of course zone Saber away. So unfortunately for Team TNN, it does seem like Saber has already done his job by bringing down Darcy.
Exactly, and he doesn't even have to leave his lane. She has to just wait for someone to try and take her down. And at this point, it's because of the Yibinet and Saber matchup. No one can keep Saber on a tight leash, and she can just take whatever she wants at this point.
Exactly. So this is kind of the same situation as the previous game, don't you think?
The Kilgroth versus Baldum matchup.
Yes. And now it is going to be a Richter against a Yibeneth matchup. When it comes to a composition like this, what could they have done though?
Well, what I'm looking at is that if they're together as a 5-man, that's basically what I see. But because PBT basically knows that this is the comp that is stronger when they're complete, all they have to do is just try to separate them and catch them off guard.
And speaking of catch them off guard, it does seem like the Dimensional Portal did not land actually. Look at all the imprintations on the ground from Aleister as well as Rain. But in the meantime, take a look at LB branching out. It does seem like he's just going to go straight for the Nature's Realm. He's just going to regenerate a little bit of sustainability on himself. But he is still singled out by PBT. And I just don't know exactly how TNN is going to play this out. But I think it's still pretty okay.
Yes.
3 turrets down and 3 Abyssal Dragon. They are still 5-5, so in terms of kills, it is still pretty decent. And the goal lead is roughly about, what, 4k?
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate. They had the right idea. Wait, Mia's gonna charge in.
It's still possible for them to catch up. Look at everything that is printed on the ground. That is literally Aleister and the Darcy combo. We haven't quite seen the meltdown just yet. I'm looking forward to see that in the main team fight.
I have a feeling we'll see it when PBT starts the siege in the inner towers. Meanwhile, Darkslayer is going to be the prime target of PBT. No contest whatsoever. The waves are shoved in PBT's favor. So at this point, Mia might check, but this is too risky.
Extremely risky, as you can say. The Darkslayer is now down. And I believe that unfortunately for TNN, they did not manage to catch on to that idea early enough. Mia tried to go straight on the Saber. Mark of the Hunter just going to be activated, coming in from Saber, just going to go straight in. But they're just both going to fall back as they do not want to be too complacent with their current attitude and of course too complacent with where they are. Any mistake that PBT makes, it could be a comeback from TNN.
Exactly, and that's, I mean, PBT has seen their match against EVOS. EVOS had a hard time. They had to kill like 4 Dark Slayers to finally shut the base of TNN. And I feel like that's the reason why they're a little bit wary of the dangers of being too aggressive. And they're taking this slowly but surely. They're gonna creep in. They're still keeping the 4-1. Saber is having the time of her life here. No threat whatsoever. If ever TNN wants to take advantage of this, they have to engage them in a 5v4 situation where Saber is far away, split pushing elsewhere. They have to do it quick.
Exactly. Now, speaking of 5v4, it does seem like it's going to be a 3v4. And Richter is coming in soon, making it 4v4. But Mia, low HP, but Ignis manages to get that sniper off right onto Aleister. And now, they are 1 man down, and they have their enemies knocking onto their front doors. Exactly how can they counter against this trifecta push? Nature's Realm could be one thing, but I don't think that it is enough.
Yeah, Albi's ult definitely is one of those things to become a meat shield. You're extra tanky, you get at least sustain, but I mean, it's kind of difficult if the members or the follow-up will not be around for that.
We're just waiting for the eventual push coming from PBT. They are pretty confident at this moment of time. We've got the middle lane turret already less than half HP. A little bit of retaliate coming in from Richter, but it's just gonna throw that thought away for a little bit while bottom lane, they're still trying to get that down. Top lane as well. So once again, the trifecta push. They do not have the Drake though, so that is quite a pity. Mia, HP is low, wasted the flicker, not exactly wasted, but it's spent to use the flicker.
Oh.
I have no idea what just happened, but it does seem like Lindis did manage to get a single kill for herself. Another kill onto Aleister.
Yeah, I think what happened there was Aleister wanted to land maybe some AoE, maybe some both, but what happened was Saya laid down the AoE and then the slow and the stun.
Like that, right?
Yeah, like that, exactly that. And then Lindis, Andrew managed to get all of the autos in.
But this time they're dealing with a Yibaneth with good sustainability, and once again Saya getting another free pickup right on the Tianas. It does seem like TNN is doing a little bit of a mistake one after another. They're getting singled out one after another as well. Like you said, they really just need to single out the TNN. And that is exactly what they're doing! Singling out another one! The Devil's Awakening was actually used, but you know, it doesn't really matter at this moment of time. Saber goes straight in, Retaliant is just going to be activated as well. Mark the Hunter right onto Yibaneth, but Yibaneth still went down, and it does seem like the Dimensional Cube is going to be activated. Ponyo still within the edges, still within the vicinity of the core, with though there is no creeps available. The entrapment is going to be used by Andrew. What?
He saw
Luna champion?
She flickered for it. Oh my word! Oh, well done by PBT.
Whoa. This game is a little bit different in as compared to the previous game, let's say. Previous game it seems a little bit more evenly matched. For this game, it does seem like it's the balance is tipped off the scale.
That's absolutely true. It's just so impressive to see how PBT is just so confident in their strategy and the way that they move. And even though they let's say they have a 10k gold lead, they're still very careful and they don't want to give any sort of maybe a consolation prize or maybe a like one kill for TNN. They're just really amazing to watch.
Yeah, well, usually teams that have already, you know, reached this part, they know that they can easily roll over the opponents one after another, you know. They will just, you know, throw caution into the wind. But it does seem like PBT, they still kept to whatever that they had in the start. They kept to, you know, their composition, their morale, and literally everything. And they just ended the game respectfully and with high discipline.
Well, you gotta hand it to Rain, 100% kill participation here. I mean, you really have to be with Ding to be extra effective since they really want to take advantage of that deadly combo.
Exactly. Really deadly. This one, like this? that deadly.
It's deadly, okay?
It's deadly. It's deadly. Matrix of what we have? Magic Barrier, Matrix of Woe, Magic Prison as well. In before double of the Dimensional Cube as well.
Yep.
In the end, we didn't quite see it, did we?
Only during the early stages, after a while it was just very difficult since Andrew kept farming, and you see a level 15 Lindis and the rest of your squad is just level 11 and 12 at average.
And
so,
Aleister just getting picked off one after another, sadly.
Yeah.
But we still gotta give credit to TNN. They still did pretty well in the previous game. Alright, like previous game, like game 3, round 1.
Yes.
Despite the fact that they had, well, Beldam against Kilgrath?
Yeah, I think they really like to draft these
double roaming
or double support, they want the 5v5 team fights, which I think a lot of teams are used to, the early three-man skirmishes, so perhaps it's another adjustment that TNN has to do in this tournament.
Well, exactly. Now, we do have a little bit of time in between, and I believe that we will be back for the next game real soon. We did manage to pull up the brackets, or rather pull up the the table for a while just now. So I believe that will come up in a while later. So you can refer to that and take a look at what's going to be the next game. In fact, actually, I can just tell you what's going to be the next game.
Oh yeah, yes, we are at our 4th match, I believe, later on.
Oh yeah, definitely. So it's going to be EVOS Bazaar versus EVOS Esports. So we're going to see EVOS Esports once again.
Sister teams duking it out.
I'm not too sure exactly how is that gonna work out, but let's just say it's going to be a game that everyone is probably gonna be anticipating.
For sure, for sure.
All right, so enough with all of this chit chatter. We'll be coming back right next to you guys for the next game between Bazaar versus EVOS Esports right after this short break. So don't go anywhere.